Hello everyone, Emily the Strange here, and I am here to wish you happy holidays, happy Halloween. For those who celebrate Halloween, hope you have a safe night. Have fun if you have little ones, trick-or-treating. If you're a teenager who's watching a party or still trick-or-treating, for last little bit of childhood you have. And for the adults who don't have little ones and don't trick-or-treat unless they go to parties, be safe and have a designated driver to drive you home at the end of the night. And let me know in the comments below on how you celebrate Halloween. And for those of you who don't celebrate this holiday for religious beliefs, like my husband, because he became Christian, I'm Christian too, but I'm very, very open-minded. I am open-minded about everything. So, if you don't celebrate Halloween, have a lovely, safe Wednesday. And despite what my husband thinks, I know some things that I'm really open-minded but drive me crazy, but that's just who I am and the way I've always been. And obviously can't complain too much about it since I've been married for 2 years now. But yay! So if he's been willing to be with me for almost 7 going on 8 years, and married for 2, obviously the things that I like, even though he doesn't like, obviously doesn't bother him this much. And I've seen plenty of videos and stuff on the history of Halloween, and it has a very interesting history. And I've said this before, but my husband's kind of like a real life thunders, but all of them, just how he is, and he obviously does me about how I am, which is so wonderful thing. And I kind of keep some of the things that I enjoy to myself. I mention them just a little bit, but I don't overdo it because I don't want to make mad at me, because I'm so open-minded about stuff. And I don't want any of you people watching think anything bad about my husband. He's an amazing man. Just not when it comes to some things, but yeah, it's okay. I'll love them just the same. And so yeah, have a happy, safe Halloween, and I will be making more videos as soon as I possibly can. Either more FaceTime videos or tributes, like the last tribute that I was able to do on the Dominica, who happens to be one of my top 20, as I said in the description, favorite creepypastas. And you know, I'm not fully focused. I can't help it. It's fun. Plus my foot's like really itchy. Sorry. I plan on later on doing another video to fully introduce myself. Like, you know, from some previous videos, how I have a deep connection with the supernatural or paranormal, is how some people would say it. It's kind of from my mental issues, which in my more in-depth video to introduce myself, not just the channel, which I have already done a video to introduce the channel, But to strictly introduce myself, and it is strange to all you lovely folks who do watch, I will talk about like some of my mental issues, like my saying here in feeling things as classified as schizophrenia, but I say something else. I say it's just my general connection that I've had ever since I was a little kid to supernatural. Since I have other mental issues too, if you would like to know about them, I'll explain in the video. And in that video, I'll explain why I don't always keep my eyes contact to the camera when doing videos. Since I have this connection to supernatural, it's kind of hard to stay kind of focused when you constantly hear, see, and feel things. Spirit-wise, human and animal, and of course, as I mentioned in a few videos, demon-wise, I'm always safe, so no one needs to worry about that. And so good. Well, here's some interesting things that I've learned about this holiday. That it takes a lot of Celtic roots and stuff, and actually a lot of things that not only come from the Celts and other religions, actually that come with this holiday, along with other holidays out there that's so celebrated not only here in America but worldwide, was actually introduced by the church. Yes, you heard me right. The church, the Catholic and Christian people actually welcomed and adopted in a lot of pagan things that they're against into their own religion. Like in the Christmas carols, when they say about Yuletime logs and stuff, that's pagan traditions. I even have family who is pagan who can confirm that Yule logs is from pagan stuff. And if you haven't guessed by now, my accent is Irish. My 6 nationalities are Irish, English, Dutch, German, Polish, and Cherokee Indian. So all of you who also have those nationalities, big thumbs up to you, because you people will. And thing with my accent, it comes and goes when it wants to, but I mostly have it all the time. Mostly Irish, which drives my husband nuts, since I'm so proud of most of my Irish heritage. Since my grandmother, who passed away this last year, was full-blooded Irish. My grandfather was full-blooded Dutch. My mom's real father, full-blooded German, and my grandma Colby is full-blooded Polish, and so the English and Cherokee Indian was just mixed in there along the way. But a lot of stuff come from my family heritage from Europe, and of course you guys too. But another thing about my accent, when I was a little girl, a lot of people noticed that I had this deep, like really old-timey, like English accent, and I've always been the only one in my family that has an accent. Surprisingly, my grandparents never really had accents. Not even my only remaining grandmother has some Polish accent, even though she's Polish. I've also been the only one in my family, as far as I know, who, when I was 2, could, I think my mom said China and I think Italy or something like that, and I was just the only one who could ever perfectly speak it at the time. But enough of my rambling on about stuff like that. Did you know back in the day, before it was pumpkins, back in Europe, they would carve out little jack-o'-lanterns and turnips. And there's a legend or story, I should not say, that goes of how the jack-o'-lantern got its name. There was a guy named Jack. Forgot his last name, but he was so naughty that he was being kicked out of hell, which that's a very hard thing to do, because normally if you're a very naughty person, that's where you go and that's where you stay. Well, apparently, he was so naughty that not even Lucifer himself wanted to deal with his ass. Pardon my language. So, he called them up with their turnip at the time, because that's what they used. Picked up a hot coal and put it in there and kicked him out of hell. And because of the glow of that, and you can see through the turnip, that's how you got the tradition of jack-o'-lanterns. Now, when it comes to trick-or-treating, it's actually not even 100 years old, but the traditions come back to the church. That's right, the church helped form Halloween, because the church took some of their pagan and other unchristian traditions into the holiday, and with other holidays too. So not everything is strictly Christian that us Christians celebrate. Now of our roots, our prayer roots, so we get a lot of our Christian traditions and stuff from the pagans and other religions. So all of you stuck up, pure Christian people who go to watches and thick and full crap, do the history. I've done the history. My husband's a tied up Christian. Things like fairies and nothing but demons. But enough of that. So interesting to know a lot of the things come from the church. Another tradition, as I said, from the church is soul. You go to it's like, I forgot like what it's actually called. But people would go to people's houses, like with children. Oh, it's called soul sting. They go knock on people's door and they get like little soul cakes, like little biscuit cakes with like raisins or something in it. And in exchange of getting the soul cakes, there was a little prayer to those who are in purgatory, so they could either go up to heaven or to hell. So you can think the roots of how we got trick-or-treating from the church. Another thing that helped was way back in the 20s and 30s was that this woman who, I forgot the name of the paper, she wrote an article on how she gave kids treats, homemade little treats, so she didn't get tricked, because tricks used to be dangerous. So dangerous that people would get hurt. Like putting soap on train rails so that they derail, smashing windows, setting things on fire, stuff like that. So to tame the little buggers, the little munchkins, goblins, little peoples, mini versions of people, children, kids, you get the idea. To tame them, they made parties and stuff and yada yada, and after that, trick-or-treating came to me. And sorry for my rambling on, but that's a couple things about Halloween. If you can easily find the documentary like here on YouTube that tells the history of Halloween. But in the meantime, I hope you all have a happy, safe Halloween. And next time, stay strange.